Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One of the central pillars of the House-passed version of the Build Back Better Act is an expanded child care support program that would provide direct support to families so that nobody has to pay more than 77% of their income on high-quality child care. Madam Secretary, would expanding access to child care services improve the labor force participation rate and overall economic outcomes among women?
Senator, I believe that it will succeed in having that impact. One of the reasons that labor force participation especially of women in the United States is now lower than that in many developed countries. Once upon a time, we were the leader. Now we've fallen behind. And a major difference between the United States and other developed countries is our support for childcare, paid leave, things that enable women to participate in the labor market. And so I believe the provisions, the subsidies for childcare, and the universal 2 years of pre-K, both of those things, I believe, will enhance labor force participation. There are a number of studies that show that. The Treasury Office of Economic Policy recently issued a paper that summarized some of the evidence, and recently the Congressional Budget Office, in assessing Build Back Better, issued a statement that indicated that this was likely to boost labor force participation.
Well, let me. I agree. One study suggests that the rising cost of child care resulted in an estimated 13% decline in the employment of mothers with children under the age of 5. Another study found that one major city started offering 2 years of free public preschool. The percentage of mothers with young children participated in the labor force increased by 10%. So you have real-life realities of that. And one of the things that I'm looking forward to on this is the effect on minority families. A study from October in the Washington Post showed that black men and women are twice as likely as their white peers to report that they are unable to look for work because they can't find child care. So there is evidence here that the currently broken child care system is especially harmful, particularly to the most vulnerable members of our society. Chairman Powell, earlier this month I sent you a letter along with Chairman Brown and several of our Senate colleagues asking you to work closely with the Boston and Dallas Board of Directors and search committees to find and select diverse candidates for the open president's position. We haven't had a Hispanic in this role. Can you give us an update on how that search is going, including what specific steps you've taken to ensure the diverse candidates are being considered?
So those searches are just getting going now. They've, I believe, both hired headhunters, and I know the process well, and it will involve extensive outreach to all different kinds of communities and an openness to different kinds of candidates. And it's essential, we believe, that diverse candidates be identified and be given every chance to do well and win those processes as they go forward. So I can take you through the details of it if you'd like offline, but it's something we're pretty committed to.
Well, I'd very much like to see that because, as you and I have discussed on several occasions, the Federal Reserve has a serious diversity problem, particularly at the leadership level. And the lack of minority representation hurts the Fed's ability to do its job, especially when we talk about promoting maximum employment and price stability. It's essential that the Fed has in place individuals that understand how an uneven recovery will impact minority communities. So I look at this as the beginning of, I hope, an effort as it relates to diversity. And I hope we will have a successful result. I understand a process that hopefully includes good qualified candidates to be considered, but I hope it will lead to a successful result. Madam Secretary, let me turn to you on the same question. How have you empowered Janice Bowdler, the Treasury's first counselor for racial equity to diversify the Treasury Department. This is something that I think I've raised with you several times. I'd like to understand what her first goals will be. What are the immediate goals for the Council for Racial Equity? Can you speak to me to those issues?
Yes, briefly, she's empowered to review and look for ways to enhance not only our internal hiring and diversity efforts within Treasury, but also to review all of the programs that we conduct, whether it's the emergency programs that were authorized by the ARP or our tax code and the way it's administered more broadly. We've asked her to undertake a review of ways in which these programs can be changed, or they may have unintended negative consequences on diversity or on minority communities, and we're asking her to look for ways to improve what we do, both internally at Treasury and with respect to the many programs we conduct.
I look forward to seeing the effects of her work. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.